Welcome to the ultimate Klaviyo email marketing crash course. E-commerce owners and marketing managers, you're about to learn how to make an additional $50,000 to $100,000 a month without spending a dime on ads while increasing your profit margins in the process. This video is going to be perfect for you if you're tired of giving your hard-earned money to Zuckerberg on ads that barely make a profit. You want to double your customer lifetime value while decreasing cost of acquisition by 50%. And you know you need an email system for your e-commerce store but don't know where to start. This video is going to serve as a crash course and a high-level overview of what email marketing for e-commerce stores actually looks like. It's going to be a doozy of a video, so sit back, grab a snack. Who am I? I'm Joey, co-founder of MailRise. We're here to give as much value as possible to help brands build their email conversion systems so that brands doing over $30K a month can work with us. If that's not you, just enjoy the free content. What I'm going to cover: why your store needs email marketing, the 3 things that actually matter in email marketing, and one bonus thing that will make or break your email system that most people don't pay attention to. Why your store needs email marketing. Every e-commerce store makes money like this. There's no exception. Every e-commerce store makes money like this. You get traffic and then you convert the traffic. The traffic comes from running paid ads on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, or even YouTube. When you run paid ads, this is exactly what is happening. A potential customer sees your ad. So we're walking through the customer journey right now. The potential customer sees your ad. He lands on your website and takes a look at your products and maybe even looks around, adds some products to your shopping cart, and then he leaves. He leaves your website. Oh no, he leaves your website. So what are you gonna do? You pay for retargeting ads. You pay precious money to Zuckerberg so you can get their attention, and they come back to your website, they maybe shop around, add some stuff to the cart, and they still leave. Why does this happen? So sad. You spent so much money. Why does this happen? Because it's 2024 and people don't have stimulus checks anymore. It's not 2020 or 2021 where everybody is buying products willy-nilly. Everybody, yeah. The barrier of entry is higher now. So, also, e-commerce is a rapidly growing business model. The barrier of entry for people to buy products is higher, but the barrier of entry for e-commerce stores to start is lower. Any teenager can start a drop shipping store and poach your potential customers, and that's a no-go. So how do you stand out? There are 1,000,001 competitors that your customers can choose from, which means that it is now more important than ever to be top of mind for potential customers. And that's exactly how you stand out. So why is email so powerful? Why is email so good to be top of mind? Before I can talk about that, we need to talk about the marketing rule of 7. There's a marketing rule called the rule of 7. It says a potential customer will only buy after seeing a brand an average of 7 times. This concept came from the 1930s when movie studios, they found out that you need to show people ads of the movie 7 times on average before they actually go see the movie in the theaters. This still applies to every business, including e-commerce. A potential customer will only buy when they see your brand around 7 times. Most brands combat this by paying for retargeting ads. And that is very inefficient because you have to pay 6 retargeting ads and one original ad and 6 retargeting ads. That's a no-go. The problem here is relying just on retargeting ads to carry your conversions is expensive, and we all don't want that. This is where email comes in. Sending emails is basically free. Retargeting ads aren't. Email is your money printer. Instead of just relying on retargeting ads, you can scale your e-commerce brand by getting traffic, capturing leads from the traffic on your website with a pop-up form or a opt-in, post-purchase opt-in, and then you can convert them on the back end with email and SMS completely for free. Paid traffic is only going to get more expensive, which means that email is going to be more and more important in scaling a brand. Now you know you need a good system, but how do you actually set it up? What makes up email marketing? How do you actually do it? So there are 3 things that actually matter, plus one thing that if you don't pay attention to will make the whole system crumble. Getting the basics down for these 4 things is 80% of email marketing. So the first thing is pop-up forms. The 3 things are pop-up forms, flow, campaigns, and the bonus thing is deliverability, which is technical. It's not hard. It seems very intimidating, but it's super important. We'll walk you through over. We'll walk through everything in this video. Don't you worry. Pop-up forms. Pop-up forms are, when your customers land on your website, it pops up and then it prompts them to enter their phone number or email. Why do you need pop-up forms? Because 75% of visitors that leave intend to come back later, but they likely got distracted, forgot, or bought from a competitor. How do pop-up forms work? You set up the pop-up form, people enter email or phone number on the pop-up form, and then you get to send marketing messages to them for free. That's why pop-up forms are so important. Pop-up forms, they make the most of your traffic. When you pay for traffic and a potential customer lands on your store, you want to make sure that traffic is utilized to its maximum ROI. You don't want to pay for traffic and just let it go and let the customer go into the ether and you never capture them again. You want to get their email as soon as possible so you can add them to your email list and start sending them emails completely for free, which is free sales basically. Most brands have pop-up forms that convert 2 to 4% of their site traffic. This is pretty standard, but good pop-up forms, which requires a lot of testing and a lot of trial, good pop-up forms convert 8 to 12% of site traffic. Getting your pop-up form from 4% to 8% quite literally will double the revenue from your welcome flow. So here's an example. A store has an average order value of $104, monthly site traffic of 25,000. That's the same before and after. Conversion rate went from 2.5% to 8.75%. New email subscribers 3.5x. Well, the welcome flow conversion rate stays the same, but the welcome flow revenue also 3.5x. So changing the pop-up form and optimizing it is one of the highest leverage activities, and that's why it's one of the three most important parts of email marketing. Just take a sip. So how do you actually make a good pop-up form? There are three parts. I'm gonna go over pop-up design, actual design, the setup, the tech stuff, and the things you can test, because you always got to be testing in marketing. So pop-up design. Every store needs at least two pop-ups: one regular pop-up and an exit intent pop-up. The regular pop-up shows up a few seconds after the customer initially lands on your website, and the exit intent pops up when the customer tries to leave the website when they click the X. So these are the two minimum pop-ups you need. And where do you make your pop-ups? We use Optimonk. Optimonk is the best one, and they have the highest converting pop-ups we've seen. There are a bunch of other software that also works. Just make sure you're not using the templates that Klaviyo come with. Those you tend to not convert the best. And then the third thing you should have in your pop-up is a clear offer, because people need a reason. They need to see value to give their email to a new website. So you want to make the offer big and easy to read in the middle, and someone should know exactly what the offer is with a quick glance. So the pop-up should say 10% off, and it should offer some sort of value, or a free lead magnet, some sort of value, so that the person will be prompted to give their email. People don't just give out information for free. That's a no-go. And email is a very private thing, so you want to give them a good offer. Design consistency. This is very basic. Just match the design of the pop-up to your website's color and font. Number 5, mobile versus desktop. It's best practice to design different pop-ups for mobile and desktop for a better user experience, but also stores get way more opt-ins for mobile than desktop. So if you have a desktop pop-up on mobile and it's not optimized for mobile, it might not convert the best, and most traffic comes from mobile, so you want to have separate ones for each. On desktop, since you can have the bigger pop-up, it's actually good to add images. Mobile, you can test it out, but generally we don't have enough space on mobile to add any images. That's it with pop-up design. Pretty basic. The setup. First thing is time delay. You don't want your pop-up to show up immediately when somebody lands on your website. It's kind of interfering. When you land on land on a store, you want it to wait you want to put a 4 to 12 second delay so the customer experience isn't super annoying. 4 to 12 seconds is the general time you start with, and then you can play around with the time. You can also see how long people stay on your website by connecting your site to Google Analytics, and find on Google Analytics you can find the average site visit time and set it to that. And when you set it to that time or a bit longer, it also works pretty well to convert. And the traffic you convert there will be very high quality because it's people that actually stayed the longest on your website. So number two, this is for brands that are selling to the EU. For brands in the EU, it's legally required to get consent to send marketing messages. For people in the US, you don't need this, but this is for brands in the EU. And then checkout and cart pages, make sure you don't have pop-ups on your checkout or cart pages. Having pop-ups on these pages will hurt your place order rates because people are basically going to buy and you're still interrupting their buying journey. They might actually exit your website and decide not to buy. Load time, make sure your pop-up loads immediately when it pops up. So you want it to be clear immediately when it shows that what the offer is and what the call to action is. You can compress images for faster load times on desktop, but just test it out. All right, and then 7-day filter. This is important. Show pop-ups only 7 days after visitors have closed a pop-up, which means that if somebody lands on your website and they exit out the pop-up, there's something you could set up in Klaviyo to make sure that they don't see a pop-up in another 7 days. Because if somebody visits your website and they don't want to enter their information, they're likely not going to enter their information again. If you ask them again, it's only gonna keep annoying them and water down your brand. So set up that 7-day filter. And next, one call to action. This is really important. Make sure you only have one call to action per slide on pop-up forms. And you don't want to ask for the customer's email and their phone number in the same slide, in the same pop-up. It's better to ask for their email because email is more important, and then ask for the phone number after they give you their email. The more options you give customers, the more they'll fall into decision fatigue and not put anything in the form at all. So that's set up. Then testing. All right, testing. Testing is probably the most important. You gotta split test everything. All the setup and design guidelines I gave are just best practices we found, but every brand is different, so you have to test everything. The goal metrics are 8 to 12% on email conversion rates and 5% on SMS conversion rates. You could also test micro engagements. So test to see if a form conversion rate improves with a 2-step opt-in. Micro engagements like this one here might convert better with some traffic because it gets potential customers invested in the first form and allows them to live up to their claim when they say, I want my free t-shirt, and then you ask them for their email and they'll get their free t-shirt in the email. So helps them, makes them want to live up to the claim they made on the first form. Then you could test the discount code in the third window. This just improves customer experience. Basically, if you found that putting the coupon here harms your place order rates and your welcome flow, then don't put it here. But if it doesn't harm your welcome flow, place order rates, then it's actually a good, it's a good thing to put because people will have their coupon and they can copy and add to cart, and it might actually improve conversion rates. But it's just something you gotta test. We there's no prescription. You gotta test it out. Test everything. For time delay for load time. So we talked about this. You generally start with 4 to 12 seconds, and then you can check out how users actually use your website and see how long they stay, and you can connect your website to Google Analytics and just check it out. Then your offer, testing the offer. This is probably the most important. If you have like a very, very compelling offer, like a free sample, your conversion rate is going to be really high. But if you have a terrible offer, or like if your offer isn't directly valuable, like a newsletter pop-up, conversion rates are going to suffer. So you want to find a good balance between a decent offer that maintains good profit margin, and while also maintaining a good conversion rate around 8 to 12% on your forms. Yeah, so you got to test. And there are other things to test, but those are just the most important things. Testing is the most important. Just test until you get 8 to 12%, and you're good for pop-ups. There we go. That does it for pop-ups. Now flows. Flows arguably are one of the most powerful things you could set up right after pop-ups. What are flows? Flows are automated emails sent to your list based on where they are in their customer journey. The messages are tailored to handle different objections at different phases of the customer cycle. So it sends targeted emails, custom emails to your potential customers at different phases of their buying experience, which basically free sales. Think of flows as around the clock salesman. Once set, they'll always work for you 24/7. They're automated. You set them up in Klaviyo. We'll make videos in the future on how to set it up, but they basically fill the holes in every part of the customer journey and make the most of the traffic and leads your pop-up form captures. There are 6 main flows every email system should have: welcome flow, site abandon or browse abandon flow, cart abandon flow, checkout abandon flow, post-purchase flow, win-back flow. I'll make guides for each of them in future videos. But for now, here's a brief overview of what each flow does and why they are important. The welcome flow. Send emails to new subscribers to build rapport. The welcome flow, you send emails to new subscribers, so immediately when they subscribe. And the goal is to build brand rapport to get new subscribers to make their first purchase. Usually we have it at 8 to 10 emails long. And we start with more educational emails and brand introductory, brand story emails, and end with more direct response and sales emails with urgency and discounts to get the sale. Email 1 is most important in the welcome flow. Move on. Site abandon. So site abandon or the browse abandon sends emails to potential customers that were browsing on the website, so they're looking through the thing, but they left without adding to cart, checking out, or making a purchase. The goal of this flow is not to get a sale, but to educate subscribers and move them along the customer journey. You educate them on your best-selling product, on products they may like, that kind of thing. And this flow is usually 1 to 3 emails long. It's actually a very underrated flow. It's pretty powerful, and it's only 1 to 3 emails long, so you gotta set it up. 3 welcome flow, site abandon, cart abandon flow. 3 and 4 cart abandon flow. Cart and checkout abandon flows are the goal is to send emails to potential customers that almost made a purchase. So this is these 2 flows send emails to visitors that almost bought something. So they either added an item on your store to their cart, or they pressed the checkout button and they're on the page where they're supposed to enter their shipping information. The goal of these flows is to get people who almost bought something over the edge by answering objections and introducing urgency and discounts. These 2 flows and the welcome flow are the biggest money makers and should be prioritized. These 3 are the first flows we set up with our clients, and they're the ones you should pay attention to the most, because you're basically capturing people who almost bought, and you're just pushing them over the edge with a little bit of education and urgency. And then post-purchase flows. They send emails to people who just made a purchase. This is very important because a lot of people experience buyer's remorse when they buy something online. So you want to make sure the post-purchase experience is good. The goal of this flow is to shorten the repurchasing cycle, so to get them to buy again, which improves profits. So you make every order more profitable. Remove buyer's remorse and educate on product use and success. Educating on product use is actually very underrated. When somebody buys your product and they use it and they love it, and they know how to use it because you sent them a guide in the email, they're more likely to stick around and their lifetime value will go way up. Post-purchase flow, you can also analyze it. The last email of this flow, generally, we put a survey type email to find out why first-time buyers don't make a second purchase. This is just good data for the brand to have. Post-purchase flow. Last flow, win-back flow. The win-back flow sends emails to customers that bought before but haven't bought in a while. You're trying to win back customers that already bought a long time ago. You win them back by reminding them why they bought, like they liked them in the first place, or you give them updates of new products you released, give them special sales because they're already a customer. This flow is usually 3 to 4 emails long. It's also one of core flows. Yeah. All right, I've never done a video this long. It's also the first video on this channel, so if I'm rambling, bear with me. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy. Most brands set and forget their flows. That's a very big mistake. Flows need to be constantly updated and optimized. There is always an angle or a flow structure that will convert better. So just like pop-up forms, you have to have dedicated attention to flows and to see how each part of each flow and each email is performing, so you can optimize the automated revenue that's coming in from capturing the traffic and putting them in the flows, filling in the holes in the customer journey. So you gotta always be testing and updating. The rule of thumb is always be testing. That's right. Now moving on to campaigns. What are campaigns? This is what people usually think when you talk about email marketing. Campaigns are emails sent to your list. They're also called broadcast emails. Campaigns follow a calendar you would make in weeks in advance. Why do you need campaigns? Campaigns have two goals: nurture with educational emails and to get sales with direct response or promotional emails. The thing is, you gotta send both in the beginning. Every brand is different. Educational emails, every brand is different. They need a different balance of educational and promotional emails. Educational emails are usually like blog posts, product use guides, brand story. They're like value posts, informational type posts that don't have discounts or urgency. Promotional emails come in the form of holiday sales, product launches, bestseller, promotions, that kind of email. How do you want to structure your campaigns? So you want to go about this in a strategic way, which means you should have a campaign calendar every month. You want to be planning out your holiday sales and filling in the rest of the campaign calendar with a mix of educational and promotional emails. Every brand is different, but the general rule of thumb is to aim to send 3 to 4 campaigns a week. And no, 3 to 4 campaigns a week won't annoy your list. It's actually the opposite. The more consistently you send your campaign, the more your list will get used to reading your emails. If you never send campaigns and you send one out of the blue, your list will feel more invaded by your presence because you're randomly just sending. It's like you have a friend and you hang out with your best friend every other day. That's like 3 to 4 times a week. But you have another friend that just randomly hits you up here and there. Which one are you more used to and which one are you more accustomed to? So you want to act like the friend and send emails consistently. Not too much, like daily emails. Maybe if you're a really big brand, you can send daily emails. But like if you hang out with a friend every single day, that's a bit too much. So sending 3 to 4 campaigns a week, that's really important. Most brands only do like 1 or 2 and they're not like very well thought out. So you should be planning them and sending them consistently. It can take up to 6 months to get a real feel on what your list prefers. So every list is different. Some lists every brand is different. Some lists, they like more educational emails and you get more sales that way. Some lists like promotional emails. It's just up to testing, which means you need a monthly report on all the campaigns you're doing and how they're performing every month. And campaigns you just gotta plan it out, send it consistently, and review how they perform. Pretty basic, everything boils down to these basics. Now I'm gonna go over the email design basics. Email design is pretty simple. You can look at inspirations from other brands. Make sure to keep it simple and make sure to have a clear call to action in email. You don't want to fill the email with too much content and the customer will just get confused. You want to make sure each email has one purpose and it funnels down to one single call to action so they know exactly what to do. We'll make guides on email design in the future. My business partner Josh will probably make a bunch of design guides for you guys. But for now, you can find inspirations at Milled, Email Love, Really Good Emails, or the Figma community. These are all really good. And These are good because they have an archive of all the emails a bunch of brands sent, and it's not just like you subscribe to the. You can see the emails they've sent in the past, not just the ones they're going to send in the future. So go check these out. We use these a lot here. Campaign ideas. Here are a few campaign ideas. 29 to be exact. I'm not going to go over them, but you can. I have this doc linked below this video. You can take all these and fill them up in your campaign calendar and see how they perform. These are just 29 ideas that we use all the time. Deliverability. Okay, this is the most important thing and most technical, so I'm just going to put it in a. Excuse me. Deliverability is probably the most important thing. Well, it's not. Deliverability is the most overlooked thing and can actually make or break your email system. Good deliverability means your email actually lands in your list inbox and not in the spam. So emails can land when you send emails to your list. They can either go into the primary inbox or the promotional tab or the spam folder. Spam folder is the worst. You want to get out of the spam. Some e-com brands get better open rates in the promo tab because people actually expect promotional emails in there. Some get better open rates in the primary inbox. You don't really have to worry. Just make sure you're not in the spam folder. So I have a deliverability checklist here. It's pretty simple. You just want to make sure everything here. First, you got to diagnose where you're at and set up the prevention. I'll link this down below so you can just go through it yourself. This is actually the SOP we have at our agency. We have the get out of spam and get out of promo SOP and how this set up. Yeah, we'll just go down, click the link, and see if you guys need help with getting out of spam. Set up prevention. Prevention is probably once you get out of spam and you're landing in people's inboxes, you gotta set up prevention. Prevention is the best medicine. So when you can set up never bounce, Xverity on your opt-in pages to prevent fake or spammy opt-in emails to begin with. If you send too many emails to fake emails and they never open, it's going to harm your open rates, and low open rates lead to high spam folder rate. And also make sure you set up automations that remove people that are inactive on your list. List clean automation, that's what we call it, for people that don't open. And also set up an unsubscribe safety automation. If someone unsubs from one list, make sure they're unsubbed from every single segment and every single list you have, just to be safe, so they won't think you're spamming them. If you made it this far in this video, I know you are serious about scaling your brand. So let me pitch you our offer. It's now more important than ever. This is not it. If you're a brand owner or a marketing manager and don't have the time, bandwidth, or know-how to execute everything we talked about today, you can work with us for free. We work on a complete pay what you want basis. Boom, we don't charge retainers. Not right now. We work on a pay what you want basis, where we work to generate a tangible return on investment, so you only pay the value you deem our service to be worth. We want to make sure we work together and it actually works. So when we work together, we generate tangible result. We can discuss what kind of pay you think we deserve, or no pay at all. It's okay. We could just exchange case studies. That's totally fine. There are limited seats, of course. We can only take on so many free clients before we're forced to charge upfront. So if you want to be the first to work with us, click the link below. Book a 30-minute, no obligation call. Pitch over. Goodbye.